Butch, just the update on Pasta.
Skated in a normal jersey today, so he took contact, which was the next step in his progression. So this week we'll see how he handles that. And then obviously if it goes well and he wakes up tomorrow or the next day, depending on how much contact he needs and doesn't feel any after effects, then we'll consider putting him in the lineup. So I don't suspect he'll play any of these home games, but probably travel with us and we'll see from there. So good news on him, but let's see how he does tomorrow. While we're going through it, Bergie went into the post awkward, so he had an extra maintenance day. Expect him to play tomorrow. Kasha, no change there. He'll be out, and Grizzlick better, so has a chance tomorrow. So we'll see how he is in the morning skate.
Just back to David for a second, Butch. So obviously a season ago, one of his personal goals was to get to 50, and for obvious reasons just came up a bit short. Given the schedule this year and his ability, you think he'll be able to maybe kind of get to that point this year or not?
Well, it'll be tough. It'll have to be a goal a game, assuming he gets in there really quick. So probably more than a goal a game, which is, that's a tough ask. I don't think anybody's done that since Gretzky, 92 maybe. I don't know, maybe Brett Hull one year. But so for me, I think that's going to be a challenge. Now, the guys have gotten it, 50 goals in less than 50 games, certainly. So who knows? I wouldn't put it past them, especially that line, the way they play. They're off to a good start. Have to stay healthy, of course. So I shouldn't speculate, but just like I said, it's not an easy thing to do. And but if anybody in our team I think can do it, it's him. So
thanks, Butch.
Yeah.
We'll go next to Steve Conroy.
Hey, Butch. I know the lines were a little discombobulated with Bergie there, but I saw you tried Pasta with Kretsch a little bit in the rush. Is that something you're tinkering with in your mind, or is he going to go right back up?
He's going in with Bergie and Marsh.
Okay. In another one, it was kind of a tough ask for Connor the other night, but how do you think he held up Clifton?
I thought he was fine. He skated a couple of pucks onto his backhand where you can get into trouble, especially against kind of the 1-2-2 forecheck that Philly does, and Pittsburgh will do the same. So that's something he has to be mindful of, that you have to roll away from the boards and into the middle on that offside, which is a little backwards thinking, so to speak. Usually, you're going to roll outside and stay in your forehand. In order for him to stay in his forehand, he's going to have to roll to the middle. So we've talked about, him and Brandon. Brandon would have to roll under him. So that would create a good, instead of a D-to-D pass, you're looking at more of a D-to-D drop. And it can work against certain types of forechecks. So that's something we'll talk to him about. It's like I said, it's not natural, but certainly something he can work on. Otherwise, he played hard. That's his game. He plays hard. He'll get the puck to the net when he can. He's going to finish checks, defend hard. That's what we want out of him. It was his first game. So, we just wanted to sort of do your job, be a part of it, and do what you do best. And that's what he did. So stayed out of trouble for the most part. Had a tough luck there late in the third. I think it was Van Riemsdyk knocked one out of the air. It hit somebody in the chest and bounced into the middle. But he had a good gap there. So I think that was the only time he was really in any trouble at all. And it was a bit of a lucky play for Philly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go next to Connor Ryan.
Hey, Bruce. When you look at Jacob Zaboral's game and his approach on and off the ice, and maybe compare him as a player today to what he was maybe a few years ago when he was trying to fight for a spot, what do you say is maybe the biggest difference overall in his game and approach?
Well, only he can answer where he was 2-3 years ago in terms of how he walked through the door and challenged himself. From our end, what I've seen, Connor, first of all, you got two guys that leave, right, that play left D. So you're naturally you should be excited because there's opportunity right away. Sometimes you come into camp, you do everything necessary. There's just no room. And that was a bit of the case on the left side here with Z and Krug. And then, Grizz kind of pushed his way in the door. And then, so it got tough for those young guys, Lozon included back. So now there's some light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, for those guys. So I think that, like I said, that's the first thing. Second of all, he gets a one-way contract, so he knows he's going to probably be here. Doesn't guarantee it, but a better chance. So there's progression there, right? So there's two things right away. He feels, okay, I'm part of this. They believe in me. Now it's up to me to seize the opportunity, which is entirely on him, and he's done it. He's moved the puck. He's gone in, showed courage going back on pucks. He's defending hard. He's still got a lot, a ways to go here. It's only 5 games in, but, we're very pleased with, the games we've got out of him and the minutes, and the ask so far. So I think the last thing was he got a bit of a head start playing in his hometown in the Czech Republic. So he came in here having played some hockey, and I think that helps the younger guys when you have no exhibition games, that you've had some live hockey under your belt. So I think those 3 things are probably what I would attribute to his start, and we'll see where it goes from here.
Thanks, Bruce.
Yeah.
We'll go next to
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good.
Good. Just, looking at the Penguins right now, where they are sort of as a team compared to you guys. And I kind of saw some parallels, whereas, they have their veteran core, but they're trying to get young guys in as well. And I just wonder if you could talk a bit about that, if you see some similarities as well.
Well, they have the 1-2, right? Crosby, Malkin in the middle. Arguably the best 1-2 in the NHL. We'll make an argument for our 2 guys with Bergie and Kretsch, but that's where it starts for them. So they got guys that drive the play every night. You're right. I think they have probably more turnover. Well, they definitely have more turnover, I think, than we do most years. This year happens to be one for us because of our youth. And they still stay elite. The difference between us and them, I think right now, in terms of, if you're looking at just on paper, is our goaltending. It's just been in the league longer than theirs right now. So we'll see how it plays out for them. Obviously, they feel confident in Jerry and DeSmith, and they're 2 good young goaltenders, but our guys are more proven. So that's one area for us that we lean on, try to play to our strength. They're a little more up-tempo, where they're going to try to outscore you, where we've always had the mindset we're going to defend first and limit the risk while still trying to score goals. So, but I love the matchup. They're always high energy. They're always good games. So looking forward to it. But I guess to get to your question, I do see some similarities in terms of their core guys have been around a long time. They've done a lot of winning, and they've built around them and added different pieces and had a lot of success similar to us.
take our final question from Dan Roach.
Morning, Bruce. Actually, good afternoon. Just a quick thought on, you talked about Halak and Tuukka and how you've separated them or tried to, whatever. With the players, how have you been doing it in groups? And for instance, the young guys, what's your normal routine when it comes to corrections, making, where they make mistakes in the games? How do you go about one-on-one time with them? The others on the coaching staff, do you meet as forwards? Do you meet as D? Just kind of logistical thoughts as you watch your guys play.
We haven't, when we do a team meeting, we try to, obviously limit it to maximum 10 minutes if we can. Training camp, that was difficult. We brought them in, and so for example, we had 2 teams here, almost 40 guys. So we brought them in groups of 10 in the video room, because it is limited here at space. And you don't have the airflow as well either here. So we did the same meeting 4 times. So it got a little long. So that's how we handle it in training camp and cycled through it. Now that we're down to, one bigger group, we've tried to assign lines to the Joe and Jay. So they'll meet with, say, Crowley's line once a week with Bergie's, et cetera. And they'll split that up. And the D meet in small groups, probably 2 or 4. So that's how Kevin's done it with them. So they don't do anything at their desk. It's all in the big video room if possible, even though it's a small group. And we have a conference room that you can certainly get 2 or 3 guys in there. So that's what we've done our meetings. I've dealt with them one-on-one on the ice, try to talk to them. In fact, I remember talking to Crowley. I got in trouble because I pulled my mask down. So sometimes it's hard to talk through those things. But that's the challenge on the bench too. Sometimes is sometimes the players just can't hear you. So, but it is what it is, and you've got to find your time to do it. So we've delegated more this year maybe than in the past because of that. We're all doing meetings at sometimes the same time because of the smaller groups. So that's kind of how we've looked at it this year, by keeping guys separated and try to keep them out of that full team meeting. And they're necessary, Dan. At times you got to, you know, you want to get your message across to everybody. You want to get input from your veteran guys, and you have to have the whole team there. But, you know, we've been told it's just going to be more difficult. And, you know, that, you know, if there was ever an outbreak in a big meeting, it could really hurt your team. So we've tried to stay away from it. We'll do our best to adhere to that. So that's how we've handled it. As for me, like I said, I try one-on-one with the guys, you know, on the ice, or in a more open space.